But let me give you some advice. This was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And if you read the comments today, Lord have mercy. Look, scrambling for new social media and communication strategies is not a replacement for fixing what's actually wrong.
In this video, Scott Jennings joins Democrat Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland on a CNN panel. Scott Jennings, Strickland, and the rest of the panel discuss a recent Democrat stunt that was a TikTok video that Scott Jennings dubbed the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And yes, I'm going to show you the video in question. With that, let's watch Scott Jennings own a dumbass Democrat congresswoman for a party's poor judgment and all-around stupidity. And we're going to kick this off with the TikTok video that they're all discussing.
Choose your character.
Wow, no matter how many times I see it, it never gets better. But let's hear what Scott Jennings of the CNN panel have to say about it.
Congresswoman, that TikTok trend, I don't even know where to begin. I'm not sure why this is necessary. I mean, there is like serious stuff happening in this country, but that seems to be just inviting ridicule.
So when you think about TikTok as a trend, we are trying to reach out to different people and different voters. And the woman who produced this is an influencer with 7 million followers. So this is lighthearted, it's fun. And every time you do something creative, you're gonna get criticism, right? But I actually applaud them for trying to do something different. And here's the reality. 7 million followers, whether you think it's cringe or you like it, we're on CNN on a Thursday night and we're talking about it on national TV.
But I guess my question is, to what end? I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I mean, maybe you will get 7 million eyeballs, but what is the point?
I am not accustomed to helping your party do anything.
Yep.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
But let me give you some advice. This was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And if you read the comments today, Lord have mercy. Look, scrambling for new social media and communication strategies is not a replacement for fixing what's actually wrong. Your party has a 21% approval rating right now, congressional Democrats.
Well, let's talk about fixing what's wrong. Donald Trump is doing nothing for the American people.
And he has a 50% approval rating.
But he's doing
beating you
nothing
by
for the
30
American
points.
people.
And so
He's not lowering the cost of living.
Advice
He
would be
tells lies.
fix the policy and leave the gimmicks behind.
Yes,
That's
and
my
let's
advice.
make policy.
Okay,
So
well, let me just
let me finish
I
here.
just want to let the Congresswoman respond to
absolutely.
that, because I think the underlying, what Scott is saying is this question of the party itself has a trust issue with its own voters, frankly.
Right.
So what is being done about that?
So as we look at trust issues with the Democratic Party, there are a lot of things happening. Remember, the Democratic Party is a very large tent with diverse people. We have people saying, do something. We have some people saying, you've gone too far. We have to stay focused on what is important right now to the American people. President Trump promised to lower the cost of living. He has done none of that. And the Trump administration and Elon Musk are demonstrating one thing with all these random cuts. They don't care if you get sick. They don't care if you get injured. They don't care if you can't pay your bills. And they don't care if you're safe. All these random cuts they're making in all these departments that they don't even hardly know very well are hurting the American people. How is...
Another time I ask myself, who votes for these people? So she says that the American people want the Democrats to stay focused on what's important to the American people. She says, yes, that's what we're doing. So TikTok videos and you being on this show specifically to talk about a TikTok video, that's what's most important to the American people. Abby Phillips may have asked the best question I've ever seen her ask on here, which I've never complimented a single question she's asked, so that should tell you how low the bar is. But her question to the Congresswoman, after she was like, it's fun, we're trying to reach out to people. She was like, yeah, but to what end? That is the perfect question. There was no world in which this video would go over well. Your party is in complete shambles right now. You have no leadership. The women featured in the video are all largely disliked. Obviously, they have some supporters because they keep getting voted in, but these aren't likable people, and them hopping around or whatever the hell they were doing ain't going to make people like them more. It's not going to make people forget that they're just always screaming and whining like banshees and complaining and they're oppressed and all that stuff. It's just not going to go away. So your timing was terrible. The people you chose to be in it are all terrible. Again, there was never a chance of any person of any age being like, wow, that was awesome. And she says, anytime you do something creative, there's going to be critics. Also, anytime you create something that makes people's eyes bleed, it's going to cause some criticism as well. Anyway, let's get to the back and forth between Scott Jennings and this genius.
Putting veterans out of work, lowering the cost of living. How is taking away food from children lowering the cost of living? How is kicking women off of health care who get Medicaid lowering the cost of living? So I know that these things are distractions that we're talking about, but why won't Donald Trump deliver on his promises? Because he lies. That's why. They're doing nothing to support the American people.
Why would or should the American people trust Democrats to lower the cost of living after the last 4 years?
We have created more jobs.
No, cost of living. You brought it up. You said Trump's not delivering. I just want to know why we should trust Democrats who skyrocketed inflation. Why would I trust you?
I don't think it's
why would I
about.
trust you?
I don't think it's about.
Yeah.
You all won.
Yeah.
So now fix it. You said you were going to fix it.
Wait,
now,
we're doing it for 40 days.
Okay, right. And
But
I
you
said,
try to
but
take
what
a
happened-
you try to take a victory lap for the Chips and Science Act, for all these investments coming into the United States. So you're either going to take credit or not. Donald Trump is a president. He promised a lower cost of living. He is cutting jobs across the board from civil servants who have to support their families.
You noticed earlier in the video, Scott mentioned that the Democrat Party has a 21% approval rating and Donald Trump has a 50% approval rating. Did you notice how this dumbass just glossed right over it? That's what the Democrats do. I'm so used to seeing it by now. They just ignore questions that they know they don't have an answer to, or the answer is not very positive for their party. That's way more relevant to respond to on a show like this than to go into a tirade about Donald Trump. Do you see how that's the script? All she could come back with is Donald Trump's a liar, and he said he'd turn the economy around. He's been there a month and a half, you idiot. We have to dig ourselves out of a hole that your party put us in. And Scott hit it on the head, and I think it's one of the reasons that the Democrat Party is so laughable right now, and people are moving away from it. Why would anyone trust the Democrats to lower the cost of living or do anything that helps Americans? You've had 4 years and did nothing. And your argument, you want to get into the CHIPS Act and that you think the Republicans are taking some victory lap? That is such a minor detail in a bigger conversation about what is wrong with your party. But again, all they have in defense is to attack Donald Trump. Let's wrap it up.
Government jobs. You want more government jobs.
No, actually, I want jobs that actually help people. Do you know what civil servants do? They keep our air clean. They keep our water clean. They keep our food safe. Don't interrupt me.
They take taxpayer money to
You know
fund
what?
the whole thing.
Let me
It's a
They
lot.
also pay taxes.
Yes.
Wait, you're saying they take
It takes taxpayer money to fund it.
It does, but they're employed by
This
the
is the
government.
Democratic
And they're doing
plan.
they are
More
employed.
government
They are
jobs.
employed for the American people, and they're not getting rich off of it.
Let's,
Go ahead,
let's not forget, yes, Donald Trump and the Republicans won,
Yeah.
but the Democrats severely lost. And you're digging your hole deeper,
you're saying
especially in a
severely?
week. Especially in a week after the debacle of what happened during the president's speech, the embarrassment. I don't know who's creating this strategy, but believe me, no one is getting on board. The Democrats have lost. I would argue the Democrats are far more exclusionary. If you don't agree with them, you're canceled. If you say something inappropriate, you're out. And there's never a coming back in. The Democrats have told the American people, you agree with us,
We're
we
giving them a
don't
run
want
for
you.
their money these days.
After hearing that last guy's point, doesn't it almost seem like the Democrats are going out of their way to make themselves unlikable? My mind is so fried from watching that stupid TikTok video that I wasn't thinking about the congressional speech Donald Trump gave and how the Democrats looked like absolute childish buffoons. It's like someone gave them a guidebook on how to make everyone despise them and make people say, I don't want to be associated with that. But we want to hear from you. What did you all think of this TikTok video? What did you think about the interaction between Scott Jennings and Marilyn Strickland? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.